Alright, this is the last section. We did skip 7-6. Alright, so don't worry why. I just don't like that section. So I just thought we'd go to 7-7. We'd be good to go. Now look, this is almost, what we're doing today, it's almost passe, I guess is the best word I can think. You know what that means? It means it's kind of like old and out of fashion. It isn't relevant anymore, almost. And that's doing scale factors with a map. It used to be. I was always a big fan of the map. That's hard for you to believe, isn't it? That I would sit there. I loved if I was going somewhere, if I was going on a trip or something, I'd always have the map out. This is before the internet, before you could get MapQuest or Google directions and all that kind of stuff. And before the GPSs were out, we used to have actual maps, okay? A physical thing, a piece of paper. You ever hear of them? But we would have it out, and I'd try to figure out where I was going to go. And I'd look at the route and all that kind of stuff. You used to be able to go to a place called AAA. Anybody hear of AAA? And you would say, hey, I'm going to whatever. In fact, at my other school, we took this big road trip to Wisconsin. The basketball team made it to this Christian school national championship thing, and it was in Wisconsin. And actually, Coach Purse was with us then, and he was sick as a dog the day we left, and he had to sit in these people's van on the floorboard, and he said he threw up like probably 3 or 4 times just on the way to Wisconsin. But he got better when he got there. Anyway, what I would do, I actually went to, I was kind of in charge of this, and we had like 7 different vans. We had 3 that we rented, and then some parents went, and they had these vans, and we went to Wisconsin, which is pretty far away to drive anyway. So I'd never been there, so what did I do? I went to AAA, and AAA is really cool. You could go for free. They wouldn't even charge you for this. You just walk in, and you'd say, well, I want to go to Watertown, Wisconsin. That's where we were going. And they would say, okay. They took all these maps out. They took a highlighter, and they said, okay, you go take this road, go here, 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 here. Then boom, there you go. You're done. And they give you the maps and everything. They gave us all a map, so every van, we gave us 7 of them, so every one had it all highlighted and where to go. So that was kind of cool. Nowadays, I don't even think they do that anymore because everybody's got GPS. You got it on the computer and all that kind of thing. But on these maps is now obvious. This is a pretty obvious question. It kind of sounds stupid, but this is relevant to what we're doing. On these maps, are the distances on the maps the actual distance that you're actually going to travel?
Yeah.
That would be a pretty big old map. Okay, no, they're not the actual distances. Okay, for instance, I just happen. Oh, you know what? I don't just happen because I copied and pasted earlier, and now I got to find it. That's all right. I'll do this. I'll place. I think. Aha! Look at that. I just happen to have a Delaware map here. Can you believe that? There's a Delaware map. Now, unfortunately, I thought of this only a few minutes before you guys came in, of getting a map, and I didn't have enough time to really find one that was appropriate to what we're going to do, but that's okay. You'll get the idea. So you'll see on some maps, they'll say this. They'll say like 1 inch equals, I don't know, I'm just completely making this up. I have no idea. Okay, we'll just say 50 miles or something like that. Okay, so we'll say 1 inch equals 50 miles. That means for every inch that you travel on this map represents what? 50 miles. I don't know. Of course, you're looking at it on a screen. I'm looking at it here, so we got different proportions on the screen up that you're seeing in the computer screen that I'm looking at. So I have no idea how accurate this is, and it's probably not accurate at all. But let's say I wanted to go from Odessa to Smyrna. I want to figure out basically how long that is. So what would I have done? Now this isn't super accurate. It's just kind of ballpark. So what would you do? You would take, if I was traveling, let's say we're going to go from Newcastle, right? We're going to go Newcastle to Smyrna, and is it a straight shot, as they used to say, as the crow flies? No, you're not going to do that unless you're in an airplane, right? What would you do? You got to hop on a road, right? Probably get on 13, go down 13, or get on Route 1 if you want to pay a toll. I'm cheap, and I always go down 13 because I don't want to pay $2 on a weekend just to go down to Smyrna, right? When it doesn't hardly save you any time. Maybe saves you a couple minutes. But anyway, so I'd get on 13 and go down here like this. How would I figure out approximately how long it is without GPS, without Google Maps and all that kind of stuff? How would I figure out how long it is? Well, what would I do? Pull out the what? Pull out the ruler, exactly right. Pull out the ruler. I probably wouldn't go straight here to here. I'd probably measure here, that would be like an inch, and then measure here, it'd be another inch, whatever. This is like way off. Let's say it's 10 miles instead of 50. I have no idea. Anyway, and that's what you would do. You would take it out, you take the ruler out, and then you'd measure how far it is. Now watch what you would do. You'd say, okay, what's my ratio? It's 1 inch to what? 10 miles. Okay, and so you measure. Let's say you measured and it was 2 inches. Okay, so on the map you measured it and it was 2 inches. Again, I don't know how accurate this is. We're just doing this for fun. So we'll use X for what? What would X actually represent? The number of miles from where? From Newcastle to Smyrna. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, and then so yep. So you just cross multiply, right? Everybody see that? X times 1 is X equals 10 times 2 is what? 20. And there you go. Does it make sense? I'll show you how the units work out. Watch this. This is in miles. Nah, we're not going to do that. We'll just say it's 20 miles. So now that's something you could do very easily in your head, but sometimes, you know, it's the scale factor is not quite as easy as that. I just tried to make it super easy for you. So anyway, you can figure out how many miles it is to Smyrna. If you want to figure out how long it would take you to get from Newcastle to Smyrna, then you know, you're thinking, okay, well, I'm averaging around maybe 60 miles per hour, maybe a little less. So it's probably going to take me around, who knows, 25 minutes or something like that, depending if I hit traffic and all that kind of stuff, right? But with a GPS, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Everybody's got one of those now, don't they? I got one on my phone now. You know, I used to have a GPS. I actually had 2 of them. And they were both stolen from inside my car, right outside my house. And so I think it's all my kids' little neighborhood friends. I think they came around and took it, to tell you the truth. I really do. So anyway, that was stolen. So now I got my phone, and it's got GPS on there. It's got Google Maps, and it's pretty cool. It's nice. I just plug in where I want to go. It tells me how long it's going to take me to get there, which direction to take, and all that kind of stuff. That's not 100%. Sometimes it's off a little bit. I'm thinking, why are they taking me this way? I know this other way is a lot better and it's a lot quicker, but they're taking me this way. So you still got to know a little bit about where you're going, where you want to end up. But for the most part, they're fairly accurate, and it's a pretty cool thing. So using this scale factor stuff really helps you in real life stuff, and that's what I wanted to show you there. Let's do an example or two from the book. Let's see, here we go. This is pretty much the same thing. Look at page 512. There's an example. This is example 1. They give you a picture. I'm not going to try to draw the picture for you. You don't really need to have the picture in front of you. You just have to know this information. It says the scale on the map shown is a quarter inch, or not quarter inch, 0.4 inches to 40 miles. So let's do that. It's 0.4 inches to 40 miles, and they put a colon this time. That's your scale factor. Okay, so every time you go 0.4 inches, that means you're going to go 40 miles on this particular map. And we want to find the actual distance from to 2 cities, from Nashville to Memphis. Okay, so we're in Tennessee. To where? Memphis or? Oh, you did? Never been to Memphis. I was in Nashville. Alyssa had a basketball tournament there. I loved it there because, again, the nerd in me comes out because I love the country music and I love the bluegrass music. And I actually, when I knew we were going to Nashville for Alyssa's basketball tournament, I was probably the only parent that was excited because the year before we went to Disney World, and of course everybody loved Disney World, and we had a great time there. But then we found out our nationals were in Nashville, and all the parents are like, "Oh, Nashville, that's not even going to compare to Disney World." And I was like, "Yeah, Nashville." That was like, I had never been to Nashville, and I wanted to go down Broadway, which is like their strip where all the country music, you know, venues things are. And oh man, I had it all planned out. I had a friend. Well, I still have a friend, but he's in that bluegrass band. I've talked about him before, and he was living in Nashville, so I called him up and we hooked up. We went to this bluegrass place one night. Oh, it was so cool. Then he was playing. He plays this big old stand-up bass, and he was playing for this country. It was a regular country group, and he was playing. So we all went to that one night, and then I actually pre-ordered tickets to hear this other bluegrass singer at the Ryman Theater. Anybody hear of the Ryman Theater? Well, in country music, it's like it's like the Mecca. They call it the mother church of country music. And that's what I'd always dreamed of going. I was so excited. So I did all that kind of stuff. So that was a blast. So anyway, Nashville to Memphis. So there you go. That's fine. Okay, so that's Nashville. And I was very excited about going to Nashville. That was a lot of fun. I took Alyssa to the bluegrass concert thing. And when she was really little, she would listen to that stuff and she'd sing along and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, man, I'm training her well, but she went way the other side. So she was only 11. Even then, she was sitting on the. They had like it used to be way back in the day. This building used to be an old church, and so they're like wooden pews that you sit on, and so she was laying on the pew and sleeping, and I was like, daggone it, she's supposed to be listening to this bluegrass music. Anyway, here we go. So anyway, from Nashville, now this person measured it, and they measured it to be 1.5 inches. Okay, so if you're going from Nashville to Memphis. So Ricky, why did you go from Nashville to Memphis? What were you doing down there? Just vacation. So you're just seeing the sights. Did you go to Dollywood or anything? Did you? I'd like to go there too, but I've never been there. So anyway, the question is, how far is it? Basically, according to this map, from Nashville to Memphis. So what do? You set up a scale factor, right? This is exactly the same thing we did from going from Newcastle to Smyrna. So what is it? 0.4 inches to what? 40 miles, right? Okay, and that equals what to what? You put the inches, right? Because you put the inches to the inches. So you measured it to be 1.5 inches, and we want to figure out what? How many miles it is. So we'll call it x, put a little miles here, and now you just solve for x. Just cross multiply, no big deal. Let me see what you get. You get 150 when you do that. I'll let you do the math. We're running out of time because of my silly stories. So x is 150 miles. So that's not too far. I'd say about 3 hours you could probably get from Nashville to Memphis, depending on the traffic and what kind of highway you're on and all that kind of stuff. All right, and there you go. That's how you do it. Now again, this is a little bit outdated because we don't usually do this kind of stuff, and we're not going to take a ruler and put it on the map to figure out how far it is from one place to another. Put it in the computer, put it in GPS, it's all done for you, which is nice. I like it. But this is how we did it back in the day. Yes, sir?
If the difference between the inches and miles for the scale in the actual map is 10, can't you just like 1.5 times 10
sure.
150?
Yeah. Yep. Just multiplied by 10. But I just wanted to show you how we got to that.
Wait, how do you do
yep.
that?
How do you do what?
Multiply.
Cross multiply. 0.4x equals 40 times 1.5. Just cross multiply.
So it would be 60.
What would be 60?
4x.
It's just 0.4x. I didn't think that would be a problem. 0.4x equals 40 times 1. Yeah, big. Look how big that thing is. You didn't see that? Okay, and then you do that, divide by 0.4. Anybody do that? Make sure. Book says 150. I don't know if I should always believe the book. You know how it is sometimes, but well, I wouldn't go that far. Okay, there we go. Let me give you some problems to do. Now remember, we're having a quiz tomorrow, and the quiz is on 7.3 and 7.4. Okay, 7.3 and 7.4. Let's see. It's section 7.7 and pages 514 to 516 and 5 to 19. There it is right there. Okay, be ready for the quiz. I'm not really going to review tomorrow. It's up to you to look over the stuff. What I would do is I click on those videos, the YouTube videos from 7.3 and 7.4. Okay, if you still don't understand it, find other resources. There's tons of other resources online. Go to Khan Academy. I was actually watching a couple geometry videos that he did just to see how he was teaching them. And he does proportions and scale factors on there. So go to Khan Academy if you want to. Find scale factors or proportions or similar triangles. Okay, go to that, and he basically says the same thing I do, but sometimes hearing it again or hearing it from somebody else makes a difference. So give it a shot.